Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We're here at Liberty Baptist Church, and this is an opportunity for us to get to know First Lady China Hunt a little bit better. I'm Lisa Davis, a friend of Liberty, and First Lady, we appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. I know you have not seen the questions ahead of time, but we've basically been given some questions that focus on who you are as an individual, a little bit about your family, certainly about your faith, and then perhaps a few silly questions just to give us an opportunity to dive a little deeper, get to know you a little bit better. Okay? All right. So, and you said I may call you China?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm Lisa. And so let's get into it. So China, just tell us a little bit about yourself, things that you would want the congregation to know.
First, I am born and raised in the Chicagoland area. I have two children, two beautiful daughters, one who is a PhD candidate who lives in New York, and a 16-year-old who attends Morgan Park Academy here in Chicago. I'm married to Pastor Andrew Hunt of Liberty Baptist Church, and I have an MBA from the University of Phoenix and an undergrad degree from Elmhurst College, And I've spent a year and a half working on a second master's at Kellogg Northwestern. Love
that. It's Kellogg grad. So, you're a busy woman.
I am busy, and also I am a Director of Research and Operations and Finance at the University of Illinois at Chicago for the School of Public Health.
So you're a very busy woman.
Yes, I am.
Tell us a little bit about how your faith what role it's played in your development to make you the person that you are today.
Well, I think it's just that faith, we tend to think things have happened to us because we just earned it, we just deserved it. But I know it was my faith and God showing me that my faith was not going unnoticed. I didn't always have these accolades that I just mentioned to you growing up on the west side of Chicago. Having a daughter the age I do, I was a teen mom. And so my children are spaced 14 years apart because God allowed me a second chance to get things right. And as a result of that, I was able to raise my first daughter, and then my second daughter, I was able to get that do-over and get all those things right. And that's because of my faith in God and God giving me the strength to get these things done. I feel that is something I want to share with everybody, and I want people to know that type of faith, it's not just for me, it's for everybody if they allow God to come into their lives and show them that everyone is valuable and worthy and can do whatever they want to do with God's help.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And with two daughters 14 years apart, I suspect you could write a book.
Oh, I can write a couple of books. Yes.
Well, maybe we'll have a chance to talk a little bit more about your girls in a minute. Okay? All right. So, describe one thing, if you would, about you that you consider unique.
A lot of things about me are unique, but the one thing is that I don't do what everyone else does. I don't do what everybody thinks I should do. I think because of my experiences, my experience, my whole life has been unique. So my experience, doing what God tells me to do, doing what I think is right, what I know to be right, versus what I think everyone else wants to see, is that thing that's unique about me, because a lot of people tend to fold under, I'm going to do what everyone else does. I do what I think is right, and I try to follow my heart despite the popular opinion or agenda.
That's fabulous. Melody Hobson writes about bravery, so faith and bravery. Can you give us an example of a time when your faith led you to a decision that perhaps others didn't agree with?
Well, I would say I was in nursing school, and something I really, really, really wanted to do. And that's when, sometimes your faith comes into challenge with your
life.
your life and what God wants you to do. And nothing seemed to go right. I had great grades, but every time I was constantly challenged. But my husband told me in the beginning, China, you're not cut out to be a nurse. He didn't say it as if he was telling me I would never make it. He just says, I know you, I know what you're passionate about.
Maybe that's not your calling.
Right. He says it wasn't my calling because I like to do what I like to do when I like to do it. When I want to get there, I'll be there. I'm not a punch the clock type of person. And so he told me, and no matter what, it just didn't work out. So that would be a good example of not being able to bring something to fruition that I want.
But it led you into other directions.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So shortly thereafter, I saw a commercial, and I enrolled in school and I graduated within a year and a half. And my position came to me right away. I mean, things just started to unfold. Right. So following faith, but then being prepared in those situations. So I was prepared when the blessing came. Mm-hmm. So my husband said to me, he says, that's what you should have done all along.
Mm-hmm. That's fabulous. That's fabulous. Okay, all right. How did you and Pastor Hunt meet?
Now, this is a funny story.
All right.
Pastor Hunt was the WIC controller for the WIC program in Chicago. And I, at the time... WIC is Women, Infants, and Children.
Okay.
So it is the program that the state funds for milk, cheese, things like that for pregnant moms and people who are of a certain income level. So he came in, my company, which was Catholic Charities at the time, that's where I worked, and I'll condense this, but I was at the front desk and I had the privilege to greet everyone who came into the door. So as I'm filing my nails, my boss comes down and he goes, there's this guy, Andrew Hunt, he's coming to audit us. So everyone had to make sure everything was clean, make sure everything was good, because this Andrew Hunt guy was coming to audit us, and he was from the state. So everyone's on their P's and Q's. Andrew Hunt walks through the door. I'm sitting there and I'm filing my nails because I didn't look at him twice, because I'm waiting on Andrew Hunt. I didn't know that this was Andrew Hunt. So you never know. He will come to you in so many forms. That's why you have to treat people right. To make a long story short, we were also hiring for a janitor's position. Okay. And because Andrew Hunt, he's a small guy. He's a really young guy. Because I was expecting a much older person. So I pushed over an application to him and told him, go fill this out. Oh. Because he came to me and says, I'm looking for Mr. Parsons. I said, go fill this out. So he
Back
says,
to your nails.
I'm looking for Mr. Parsons. Okay, go fill this out. So he goes, he fills it out. Andrew Hunt Jr., summa cum laude, Morehouse College, Alpha Phi Alpha, blah, 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 and hands it to him. He says, now go get Mr. Parsons. Mm-hmm. So, needless to say, I asked him out afterwards. I didn't want to lose my job.
Very effective
There's more to
strategy.
it. There we go.
Yeah, there probably is more to that.
But that was the gist.
Very effective strategy.
My nails were great, but I didn't miss my blessing.
That's great. And your story may lead into this, but we all look back at things that have happened in our lives and think about what we might have told our younger selves about certain things that we've done. So you can pick any milestone age, but when you were 20 or when you were 25, what would you say to that person based upon what you learned about life today?
Well, one of the things I've learned that, procrastination is definitely something that I don't do anymore, because I find myself in the age I am now playing catch up, because at 20, at 25, there were things I should have been doing, but again, following what I wanted to do. So just because I follow what I want to do doesn't always lead me down the right path. Mm-hmm. So what I've learned in maturing and getting older and being a mom, because at 20, I was a mom for some years. Okay. And so at this point, I'm back in school, but I'm taking a kid to school. I have a kid sitting in class with me, So that experience sort of led me to say, wow, had I done things right the first time, had I listened to my mom more. I'm always, even at this age, I should have listened to my mom more. So. That was
Wow.
my younger self would say, listen to your mom.
Wow, that's powerful.
It's the truth.
That's powerful. Yep. Okay, thank you for that. All right, let's see. What keeps you grounded with all the responsibilities that you have?
Well, you know what? I appreciate where I am. I am blessed to be where I am. I never forget that. I've never forgotten that. Again, everything, we're all one paycheck away from being the homeless that we're feeding, around the holidays. I've always acknowledged the blessings that God has bestowed upon me. I've always acknowledged that nothing that has happened to me I deserved or I was owed that thing. There was no difference between me and someone else who just made a different choice, or sometimes God just favored me, and I just want to always be in the presence of that.
Mm-hmm.
And just always acknowledge that my blessings can be taken away if I don't appreciate them.
Do you get stressed?
Yes, I do, all the time. Yes, I do.
And how do you de-stress?
Because of my personality, I'm a really happy person. I surround myself with people who are positive, that I can be myself around. So if I'm stressed, I can say, I am stressed out. Let me tell you what happened. And I just, try to focus on something positive.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to figure out if you can't take away the stressors, how can you work within that stressor? What can you do with the stressor that can help you get through it?
Okay.
Not necessarily moving the mountain, but how can you get around it?
Sure.
So that's how I de-stress. It sounds simple, but it literally is just that simple. Just find something, you laugh, watch a comedy, it will help. And definitely prayer. I'm always praying. I'm always, asking God, Lord, please help me with this. Lord, strengthen me, Lord. Allow me to, receive your message, And because in a sense, I would say that I'm unselfish, because even when I'm stressed, I'm always thinking about, okay, if this is my situation, someone else is going through something worse. And that always brings me to a place of rest and peace. And it's like, you didn't get a check, someone is not getting a check at all. You didn't get this or you didn't do that, someone else. So that's the thing that keeps me grounded.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I would imagine that as a First Lady, you are privy to the struggles that others are going through as well.
Absolutely.
And that would only add to what you might be feeling, which is it's a big responsibility as well.
Well, it is, but that's the thing. I enjoy doing it. It's not something that I have to do. No one in this church or even my husband puts that burden on me.
Okay.
Part of my personality and who I am just as a person, God has given me so much, has brought me through so many things. And I think that if I could share with that person that, hey, you can get through this because I got through this and I know these situations, and that's why I'm here today to tell you my truth, not something that, you don't understand. I've been homeless. I was a teen mom. There was a point that I did not have an education.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these things were in my past. And so now I have all those things. I literally would say I have it all. And I have it all because God has blessed me, but because I've never forgotten where I came from. And so with that, I can share, and hopefully those people that have these issues can be blessed through my story, or I can, help minister to them about getting through it.
And that's wonderful. And the fact that you're this transparent about that and willing to share that is a true blessing. So, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, let's see here. What is your vision for Liberty Baptist Church? And the word liberty, tell us what strikes you, what meaning you take from that word.
Liberty means freedom. And for me, that's who I am. I'm a free spirit. It means I'm free to sit here as a first lady in this place and tell you I wasn't always walking around with crosses and quoting Bible scriptures and things like that, because God gives us the liberty to live our lives and make those choices. And so my vision for transformation, transformations and liberty, but my vision for liberty right now is that we grow, but we grow in helping each other and becoming a family. I want us to be the largest family in the world. That's my vision. I want us to all just see each other as a help, not just a person you go to church with. And that's the thing. So I literally did mean a large family.
Exactly. Not just the folks sitting on the pews.
No, I don't want us to be
coming and going.
church folks. I don't want us to be, I want us to be able to really be able to help someone. I don't want someone to say, girl, I'm praying for you. Your health fell down. I'm going to pray for you. I want that person to be able to say, hey, we got 10 people out here ready to help you.
Mm-hmm.
And I want people willing to help, because people will be more willing when they feel familiar with the people that they're helping.
Right.
So that is my vision for Liberty.
That's exciting.
I'm excited about it.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Advice. The best advice you've received, and you mentioned your mom, but the best advice you've received and the best advice that you think you've given, perhaps to your daughters, perhaps to someone in the congregation.
The best advice. Put God first. That was the best advice. My mom was, she was a true believer. She passed away last year.
I'm sorry. It's hard. It's hard.
It is very difficult, but all those, give a person their flowers while they're here.
Mm-hmm.
My mom always talked about putting God first, and this wasn't always where I was. I was first, and everything that I wanted to do was first. But when I started to put God first, everything started to open up. When I prayed before I did something, when I thought about, let me ask God instead of asking my friends. Let me reflect. Let me shut up and listen to God. And so by putting God first, my life changed, and I can see changes in others who are around me, and I can see how that can help other people. So that's the advice that I would give my daughters and that my mom gave me.
Excellent. Okay. Well, this one's a little longer, but let's see here. What are some of the challenges that you have encountered that may be helpful to other young women as they navigate life, including marriage, career, parenthood?
We'll start with just being a young lady, because you are a lady first before you're a wife. You're always going to be a woman in these situations. As I talked about putting God first, and if you're putting God first, you're respecting yourself. You're doing things that you think are of God, and so that image, resonates with people. In order to be a good wife, a good mother, a good friend, you have to be a good woman first. And in order to be a good woman, God's presence has to be seen, has to be known in you, through you, so that you can deal with life's challenges. Being a woman, we tend to watch a lot of TV. Even as you get older, you start to be influenced by what other people want, what other people think you should do. As a first lady, what should I wear? How should I talk? What should I say? Should I sit like this? Oh, I don't want to clap too loud, because my husband can preach, and I like to really, I really get into it. But those are some of the challenges, because I don't want my spirit stifled by what other people want.
But they'll try at times.
They do, and I'm going to keep on clapping, and I'm going to wear things that I want to wear, and I'm going to talk and walk and act the way I want to. But by putting God first, I understand what God's mission is for me, and I do everything that I think is pleasing to God. And those are the things that keep you in check and keep other people in check. Because they can't challenge you on something that God has, ordained, or something that is within God's word. So.
And I'm mindful of some of the things that are going on out in the world that are affecting young ladies. There are some situations even here in the Chicagoland area with noted celebrities and the reported activities and things that they've done that have harmed young ladies. How do we help get the word to our girls? To our precious black girls?
That's a great question, and that's one of the things here at Liberty that I wanted to bring. I wanted to, not only start the youth ministry, but I want this ministry to be different. I want this ministry to reflect what these young ladies go through when they leave the church. We can arm them with the Bible and all the scriptures we want, but they have to be able to have a certain self-esteem about themselves. So when an older man or someone who doesn't mean them any good, or even when a young man approaches them and have them to do something that is against or out of their character or something that they shouldn't be doing, they have enough self-esteem to say no. They have that love from their church family and from a family that they might not have at home. So being that family, but listening to them, and that's the thing. I think we can really affect our youth and be impactful if we shut up. If we listen to them and stop preparing to tell them what we think they should do. Listen to them, because every teen, every youth has a different reason for why they do the things that they do. But understanding them, you can help them. So that's one of the things, even for the young men, they feel these material things they have to go out and get. It's not good enough that they have one pair of shoes. They have to have 10. So because they need these things, they go out and they do, unconscionable things for them. So with that being said, we want to be able to help and tell them you're better than and you're bigger than just a pair of shoes. If you are focused on this, later on you can have all the shoes you want. You can focus right now on your studies and things like that, and how these young men should be treating and viewing women. That's the thing. We don't teach our young men how to respect women anymore. Now it's corny to open a door for a young lady or to just treat a woman with any type of respect. So that's the thing, I think, starting with the youth before they're at an age that it's already ingrained in them.
Favorite book or movie?
The Firm by John Grisham.
I love John Grisham.
The Firm by John Grisham.
That's your favorite book or movie?
That is my favorite book
and movie. Wow.
Right. And so in the book, of course, it's all in your mind. You visualize the characters, but it talked about someone who was hardworking, who did not have it all, who had a wonderful marriage before the devil came in and told him he had to have this fancy paycheck and live in a
big house.
So the better things got financially, the worse things got in his life, because he lost sight. Well, the firm tried to cause him to lose sight, but because he did not lose, and I'm going to compare that to, he did not lose his faith or who he was as a person, he eventually got out. But it was the most powerful movie. It shows how the devil can woo you with things. They were strategic in the movie about, they picked the poorest student and gave him the most money to keep him there. So he would never leave, because he would never get that paid, that much money from another law firm. They wooed him with women to separate him from his wife and things like that. So again, that movie, that book showed me how those things happen behind the scenes and you don't even realize is impacting your life on a daily basis. So there is always spirits at play telling you the more money you have, the more material things you have, the better off you'll be. When it actually does not, because I think it takes you further away from God if you're not giving back, if you're not a part of the body. So
that's a fabulous analysis, and I don't know if the church has a book club, but it sounds like you've got a selection picked out.
It's really good.
Yes. Okay. Great. If you could ask God one question, China, what would it be?
How can I not only be a better person? And it's one question, but it has layers to it.
Sure.
I ask God for certain favors, not to promote myself, but so I can be a help. The better I do, the more I have to give, the more I can give, the better I can be to my community, to my husband, to my children, to my church. So I ask God to increase my territory so that I can really, show His gifts and show His blessings through me and through my works.
And He has.
Thank you.
And now you're here at Liberty.
Yes.
China, it has been such a pleasure to talk with you. Thank you for being so open, so willing to take the time to do this. It's been my delight to talk with you. I wish you and your husband all the best here at Liberty. I will not be a stranger.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for opening up. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.